Adam Taxin here. Merry Christmas from Ormond Beach, which is Greater Daytona Beach, Florida. It's about 40 degrees here, by the way. On the line is my fellow Jew, Dave Aronberg, state attorney for Palm Beach County, Florida, also not celebrating Christmas, really. I have him on because, as you know from following my past segments, or you'll soon find out, he is a very entertaining, engaging, fun audio guest. He's also about as conservative as any Democrat you'll find anywhere, but not that I'd necessarily vote for him. But I have him on, and the first topic we're going to talk about, and these are going to be in different audio segments, so look on my YouTube channel, is a classmate of ours from Harvard, class of 1993. That's where we know each other from. Her name is Gina Raimondo. She is running as a Democrat, also like Dave, probably the most conservative Democrat in the race. She's running, she has been state treasurer, and now she's running for governor of Rhode Island. We don't expect a big audience on this one, but plenty of people from the Harvard class of 93. We're just going to talk about the introduction of her campaign, for better and for worse. And Dave, in my opinion, he won't say so himself, is probably the best politician from our class at Harvard. He, again, is state attorney. He's been a candidate for attorney general for the state of Florida. He's also been a state representative in state senate. And there's an irony here because I'll get to Dave in 1 second. He represents in Palm Beach a bigger district, bigger county, a county that's bigger in both population and area than Rhode Island. Anyhow, Dave, your thoughts on the Christmas introductory YouTube video that Gina Raimondo put out?
First, it's great to be with you, Adam. Merry Christmas to you and your listeners and viewers. I want to just clear a few things. I did observe the holiday with my family as a time to get together, and although it wasn't a religious holiday for me, it was a wonderful day together with the family. Plus, I was in court today in the morning. I'm doing first appearances so that my Christian employees didn't have to. And also, I would have to disagree with you on the label of the most conservative Democrat. Now, I like to consider myself a centrist, although I'm not really into labels too much. But so just wanted to set the record straight. You know, I'm sorry to disappoint your conservative listeners, but
I said of Democrats.
I position myself in the middle.
Yeah, you're in the middle of the whole political spectrum, but certainly to the right of the Democratic Party, I would say.
I think the Democratic Party is a lot more centrist than you think it is, my friend. I think that the conservatives think that the Democrats are a bunch of commie atheists, but we're not.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you're more of a Brian Schweitzer type Democrat, I would put it that, though he's so independent and iconic.
Montana is a very different political terrain than Florida, but look, one thing that I pride myself on in my job as state attorney, which is the equivalent of district attorney in other states, is that it's not a very partisan position in that, there's no Democratic or Republican way to prosecute criminals.
Right.
You all do it the same way. When people call 911, no one ever asks you if you're a Democrat or Republican.
Yeah, Miss Cleo didn't like you more because you were a Democrat when you were going after her.
That's a good point, my friend.
All right, let's talk about Gina. Enough about you, enough about me. What did you think of the ad?
Well, first, I like Gina, too. Gina was always a very smart, nice person in college. As far as the ad goes, it's early in the campaign, and so you don't have you don't have all your money in the bank. You don't have your campaign staff around you that you're settling on. You just start off just making the announcement, and you put up whatever you can put up, and that's generally what it was. It was a sort of a long, rambling introduction, and I would have preferred it to be more concise and more lively, but it is what it is. It's not going to get her elected. It's not going to hurt her in the election. Yeah. It's just an announcement, and so it will have very little impact. One thing that I did notice, though, on the positive side, is that she seems, although I don't know a lot about the Rhode Island political debates and issues there, but that she took on an issue that could pose problems for her in her campaign, and it's the pension issue. She took it head on, and for that I give her credit, because generally, if something is going to be an issue or possibly an albatross around your neck, you want to get it out early and not shy away from it, deal with it early, so it doesn't come back to haunt you at the 11th hour.
Yeah, well, my view on the pensions was, obviously, she's probably the most educated. And first of all, I lived in Quincy House with her, and she was always extremely nice, and you couldn't help but notice how hardworking she was. I mean, she really was one of the most hardworking people, and I give her a lot of credit, because I was not. But with pensions, I had a little bit of a problem with the ad, among other things. I don't think she had a very good producer. I would fire that producer. But it seemed almost presumptuous, as if the pension issue has been resolved once and for all. And while people will forget this ad, it's as if she took credit for saving the pensions, as if it's a fait accompli. And Buzz, that didn't involve you, with other classmates, was like, well, Dave Aronberg wouldn't have made a lot of these mistakes. And of course, you won't say that, but, you were just much more of a political pro, I would say. You would never say something like that. That was her tone in there. It's resolved.
She may be running on she's a technocrat, someone who gets the job done, who's not in a flash, not into short little sound bites, so someone who will give you 5 minutes on as a discussion on an issue. Her opening video was long, and it wasn't full of a lot of substance. It touched upon a lot of different issues. So I would have preferred something as an introductory video, just a quick snap. I'm running, and here's why in 1 minute or less. But hey, look, she has been very successful in statewide politics in Rhode Island. I tried to run statewide in Florida for Attorney General and did not win. And so in that sense, I shouldn't be the one giving her advice. But I think your points are well taken in that I think it could have been a better introductory video. But after all, I don't know what works in Rhode Island. In Florida, it wouldn't have really mattered much.
Well, in Rhode Island, I imagine, first of all, she has a great advantage being named Gina Raimondo in Rhode Island. That's a great name to have in that state. In the way, she probably will pick up 3-4 points just for that. Obviously, she's a very serious candidate. In the same way...
The accent alone in the video is excellent. She has that true Rhode Island accent. I thought I was watching Family Guy there for a second, the town of Quahog.
Okay. you know Rhode Island better than I do.
Reference.
Yeah, I get that reference. But, she has that... With Dave Aronberg, is that an asset? Do you gain more points or lose more points in Florida being named Dave Aronberg, by the way?
I have always, in fact, I've wondered how my name plays, but it really shouldn't matter. I don't know. I think that you gain as many votes as you lose, and it really, at the end of the day, it's a push, and you just hope that you're going to win on the issues.
Well, it's a post-Alvin Green world. Some of you know the Democrat primary in South Carolina a few years ago. Being named Alvin Green apparently helped quite a bit. But, yeah. And my guess is there are a lot of people who are very concerned about their pensions in Rhode Island, and by making that an issue, she's clearly probably the best candidate to deal with pensions among Democrats, or probably the Republican. I don't know much about it. The Republican Party is basically dead in that state, is my presumption. So she could win, but it was just people from our class probably want to listen to this, and they'll probably be the only people who do it. But, I just thought it could be a lot... She seemed a little stiff in there. And, she's not necessarily someone who works the crowd the way you can. But what advice would you give her on that? Knowing that her personality is different from yours. And, you're more of a technocrat.
The most important thing is to be yourself. And there's an old joke about that. They say the most important thing in politics is sincerity. If you can fake that, you got it made. You have to be yourself. You can't fake sincerity. You can't fake authenticity. And so she's not a glad-hander, then she shouldn't try to be one. It'll be ill-fitting. Look, Chris Christie, I'm sure his handlers try to tone him down, try to say, hey, don't insult people. You're a bull in a china shop. Why don't you be more political? But he is who he is, and it works for him. If he tried to be Bill Clinton, he would fall on his face. But he is who he is. He's comfortable in his own skin. And the voters can sense who's comfortable in their own skin, and that's why they like him.
You didn't get that sense from Gina?
Well, I don't know. I just thought the opening video was too long and nothing that will help her in the campaign. But like I said, it's an opening video on YouTube. It's not going to have a real impact.
It only had, I think, 2,700 hits at this point. But again, it's Christmas. It's fun for us to talk about. I'll tell you another pet peeve of mine in videos. You can disagree with me. I don't like the little family segments at the end in general, and I thought hers was a little too for the camera. But it's just such a cliche of political ads. Obviously, you and I don't have children, and you've never been married, so it wouldn't really be an option for us. Though I guess I could with my stepsons and my wife. But it's a little bit... I don't like those things, and I get the sense it would probably turn off a lot of single people when you see those parts of the ad.
Well, as a single person, I never get upset when I see families on television. I think that's a positive. So I'm not in that demographic you're saying that maybe would feel jealous or upset. I'm happy for people who have have families and who want to promote it. You don't want to go overboard to look like you are. The only reason why you had kids is to put them in a political ad. And I did not think that she went overboard. I thought that family part of her video was fine.
Yeah, no, it's not about hers. It was just in general. I just don't like seeing that. And I imagine if you're part of the ever-increasing population of women who are, say, in their 40s and probably not ever going to get married or have kids, it's sort of almost like in your face. But I may be overthinking this too much.
Well, it could be, though, showing families is like when Republicans talk about tax cuts for the wealthy. See, the people who aren't wealthy are aspirational. They want to be there, and they think, I'm going to get there one day, and when I get there, I want those tax cuts. Right. Whereas those of us who are single look at families and say, you know what, that's great. She has a family. I'm going to have a family one day, and when I have a family, I want it to look like that. So in that sense, it may not hurt. It could help her. I
don't know. I've never read anything on it. It's just my impression. I was going to say one other thing. Oh, here's another thought I had. And as someone who's run for office, and I've never run for anything more than Republican committeeman in the city of Philadelphia, but nor do I intend to. I have a thing. This is an era of Twitter, Facebook, and like instant commenting. And my sense with a lot of this, and this is largely an opinion I have through Republican politics in Pennsylvania, being at least a little bit of a part of it, is there are consultants who who make a lot of money telling politicians they need to do certain things like campaign ads when they really would be much better off doing a lot of really small scale things over and over and consistently. Do you have any feelings on that?
Depends on the race, depends on the district and the community. I talk to people all the time who want to get into politics, and if they want to run for a state house seat here in Florida, they can walk the whole district. They don't have to have a huge budget. They can win by just putting in the shoe leather. If you want to run statewide, I have another guy who I know is running statewide, and he has not been able to raise money, and that means he's DOA. He has no chance. In Florida, when you have 10 media markets and it costs $1.2 million per week to go on TV, you have to raise big money, and you have to run your campaign from the air, meaning the air wars, 20,000 feet. Going door to door, going to small coffee clutch is not going to get you elected in a statewide race. And so every race is different. In Rhode Island, the state is so small that you can do that personal touch. When you run for president, that's why people love Iowa, because it's about the caucuses, it's about the 99 counties and going to meet people one-on-one. Same thing with New Hampshire. So it just depends on the district.
All right, Dave. We've already gone on like 13 minutes here. Why don't we call this off? We can always come back to it another time. But any final advice you have, if this is the only thing that Gina Raimondo listens to, or politicians in general listen to from your background?
Gina has been successful so far in being smart and pragmatic and being who she is. And even if your handlers tell you have to change, don't, because it's gotten you where you are now. If she had been a mayor of a small town and her handlers told her she needed to change to run statewide, I'd say listen to them. She has been elected statewide in Rhode Island, and there's not as huge of a leap from state treasurer to governor as there is from mayor to governor. So just follow your gut, be who you are, and just keep working hard. She's obviously been very successful this far.
Great, Dave. Okay. Anything I should pitch to the audience? Should they see a website or anything? But not that they'd have much reason to outside Palm Beach County. Anything in particular?
Well, I don't have my website right now because I'm not running for re-election. They could visit me on Facebook, Dave Aronberg. They can like my supporters page on Facebook, which is Dave Aronberg, DaveAronberg. Just type it in.
All right. I'll talk to you soon. Merry Christmas.
Hey, thank you, Adam. Merry Christmas to you and your wife and your family, and I'll see you soon, my friend.